Every people chooses at some point in their history how they'll be governed, whether it be through revolution, a bloody revolution or a peaceful revolution, whether it's abrupt or emerges over time. People recognize, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, this is who I'm willing to fight for and die for. And that leads to sovereignty.
Sovereignty. Those who possess it have a responsibility to wield it fairly and justifiably. Others who recognize it must respect its inherent value towards better relationships and collaborations between themselves and those sovereign.
We control our destiny through sovereignty. That's why sovereignty is paramount as far as protecting it. Sovereignty is our existence. Without sovereignty, our culture, our religion, and tradition is under attack.
During the American period, Americans came here to settle California, and when they saw Indians as an Indian problem, and they wanted to remove us. They wanted to put us off on reserves, which the Americans called reservations, which would segregate us from the rest of the population. So they came up with the Treaty of Santa Isabel of 1852, which they got a small group of Indians, and they signed the Treaty of Santa Isabel, and it got sent off to Washington, put in a drawer somewhere and locked up and never got ratified.
The Santa Isabel Treaty of 1852 recognized the attending tribes as an assimilated group, and as such, granted them permanent territories.
You look at history and you see the literally hundreds of treaties. You look at the thousands of pages of congressional acts. You look at the Supreme Court, no longer just interpreting the validity of the Constitution, but interpreting the political environment and how they want the Constitution to be read, clearly points out that other than snippets of time where people of moral integrity stand up, the push is to take away from the tribes. The purpose of Public Law 280 was to take care of problems that were real on the reservations. And very simply, it says on the surface, if you read it, quickly, that states have the right to exercise criminal jurisdiction over the tribes. Federal law is out of the picture. Civil regulation is hazy and vague, and that the tribes can still maintain their tribal governments, maintain their tribal lands, and govern themselves internally, but definitely if there's issues in reference to criminal activity in particular, that the state would step in. But if you go back and read the law more carefully, this Public Law 280, the tribes did not actually lose the right to govern themselves.
I think in the past, what we saw before was tribes really using sovereignty and holding on to it, and rightfully so, as it's put forth in the Constitution. Tribes do have that sovereign right for economics and political sovereignty. And I think that using sovereignty as just the basis and the foundation of saying, hey, let's come together as sovereign entities and take care of our people and find the best way to move forward, I think is something that we all need to capitalize on.
It is imperative that this correlation gap must be minimized by Indians and non-Indian governments working together for the betterment of all peoples. Indians are a social asset. They engage in civil prosperity and are an economic benefit to surrounding communities. As such, Native Americans proudly embrace their heritage and culture.
To our death, we will have sovereignty over our people. It's the right to govern our own. It's a nation-to-nation relationship. It's a government-to-government relationship.
Without our sovereign authority and jurisdiction within our own reservations, our culture, our tradition, and our religion could die.
Sovereignty means to me that we can practice our culture and our religion and our language, and no other government can take that away from us.
The expansion will boost the tribe's revenues and economic health for its members, as well as create hundreds of permanent jobs and over 1,000 construction jobs during the 2-year building period. First Lady Michelle Obama invited the 12 winners of the National Arts and Humanities Youth Program Awards to the White House for a special ceremony to recognize programs in developing young people's learning and life skills by engaging them in the arts or humanities. 12 community-based organizations from across the country were chosen from a pool of 251 nominations to receive the highest honor awarded to such programs in the United States. Mrs. Obama presented the awards on November 15th for increases in academic achievement, growth in graduation and college enrollment rates, improvements in literacy and language abilities, communication and performance skills, and cultural awareness. Award winner 15-year-old Jaden Lim addressed the audience on behalf of tribal youth ambassadors from Santa Rosa, California. In her remarks, she focused on how this program strengthened her Native identity, gave her the tools to represent her culture and community, and connected her to other tribal youth who shared common experiences.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the White House for the 2016 National Arts and Humanities Youth Program Awards.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank the First Lady and the President's Committee for allowing me the opportunity to
The South Point Hotel in Las Vegas was also home to the Indian National Finals Rodeo. The professional rodeo was held at the South Point Equestrian Center this past November 8th through the 12th. South Point is recognized as having one of the nicest indoor equestrian facilities in the country. The mission of the Indian National Finals Rodeo is to promote and preserve the professional Indian rodeo by empowering families, youth, and communities through positive role modeling, educational opportunities, competition, culture, and tradition. Champion Indian cowboys and cowgirls compete against each other throughout the year for over $1 million in prize money, which culminates with the Indian National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas. More than 450 contestants compete in 8 major events that include bareback riding, saddle bronc riding, bull riding, steer wrestling, team roping, calf roping, ladies barrel racing, and ladies breakaway.
Hi, my name is Donna Hoyt. I'm the General Manager of the Indian National Finals Rodeo, and we would just like to welcome you all to the 41st Annual, and thank you for all your continued support.
The festival featured over 25 films, shorts, and documentaries by American Indian and Indigenous filmmakers, producers, directors, and actors, as well as offering several Q&A sessions with the stars. It also included live painting and a youth program. The Youth Shorts Program Workshop was presented by artist and filmmaker Stephen Paul Judd, and an exclusive VIP reception was held Saturday night at the Pechanga Resort to honor those making a significant impact in the industry. The film festival included a very special tribute to the highly respected actor Wes Studi. Some of his film credits included The Last of the Mohicans, Dances with Wolves, Avatar.
This year's festival has been just amazing. We opened this year with 2 fabulous films highlighting American Indian women. And then Friday at the campus of Cal State San Marcos, we continued with 2 other great film screenings.
Hi, my name's Wes Studi. I've been an actor for a number of years, and I'm actually being honored here at California's American Indian and Indigenous.
Really honored and proud to be here with Jolene and supporting all the wonderful filmmakers and people coming out. And it's so beautiful to see so much youth being involved in this as well.
Thank you for watching SCTN. I'm Coral Rodriguez.
Thus were the humble beginnings of the cement industry in Southern California. As time passed to the late 19th century, more and more Easterners moved west to California from the East and Midwest, and subsequently the indigenous population of Agua Mansa became less and less, and accompanied by several devastating floods, they eventually gave up the quarry and kilns. The quarry was rediscovered in 1895 and named the Sky Blue Quarry. As it was a small marble operation, it subsequently failed because they were unable to yield large enough slabs to be profitable. In 1905, Ira Judson Coe of Pennsylvania decided to head west to increase his fortune. Raised in the cement business, he knew the eastern fields were in danger of becoming mined out, so he came to California looking for a fresh quarry. At Crestmore, near today's Riverside, he stumbled upon the old abandoned Sky Blue Quarry. Knowing that this was a potential boom, he needed the capital to mine the site and set up a plant. Just about this time, a banker and entrepreneur from Northern California was looking south to increase his wealth as well. William G. Henshaw could see the potential in Southern California for communities, industry, and habitat.
He had already owned train companies up in the Bay Area, and like Bill Mulholland, he knew how important the water usage was in Southern California, so he started building water companies in Southern California and the San Diego area.
About this time, as he was acquiring several limestone deposits in the Riverside area, he ran across Ira Judson Coe. Coe convinced him that the Sky Blue Quarry was a moneymaker, as long as they could build a productive plant there and bring their wares to market. In 1906, the Southern California Cement Company was incorporated. Construction of a 6-kiln plant began immediately, and in just a few short years, the first sacks of cement were ready for market. The first shipment was made in January of 1910. As the 1940s passed, the 1950s seemed even more bountiful. More and more the country depended upon concrete as a building material. A vast opportunity arose when President Eisenhower incepted the Interstate Highway Program. This was to be a 13-year program that would connect every city that had a population of over 100,000 people with a system of highways that would allow non-stop travel of military equipment from coast to coast in any direction. This was a big boost for the construction industry and collaterally with the cement and concrete manufacturers and suppliers. The highway program has been continual and has expanded ever since. Also, in 1955, the company was awarded the contract to furnish 3 million barrels of cement for the construction of the Glen Canyon Dam on the Colorado, thus establishing a strong foothold for Riverside Cement to begin its next 100 years. From its earliest humble beginnings to its current reliability, cement in Southern California has seen us through many times and many changes. 2 world wars, economical instability, massive westward migration, and government mandates. It has always been there, solid as the ground under our feet and the very foundation for our lives. As the 21st century is upon us now, cement is sure to see us through it as well. Strong and weatherproof, it is truly the basis for what we call home.